The top 10 most unexpected moments of the World Cup group stage. If you've been following football for a while, you might be tempted to think that you've seen it all. But after the close of the group stages in Qatar this winter, we've witnessed many never seen before moments that will linger in the memory for years to come. A total of 48 games were played in the group stages of the World Cup. We've taken a look at the stats and all the drama seen in Qatar so far. Just before we roll out the top 10 most unexpected moments of the group stage, did you know that this World Cup has some of the biggest upsets in group stage history? 24 of the 48 games were goalless at half-time, and referees added a total of 563 minutes of added time across the 48 games. That's over 9 hours, or 6 more football matches. But without further ado, let's check out our top 10. Number 10. Ronaldo's hair of God. Ronaldo can only stay out of the headlines for so long. At times it may seem like the media has got a lot against Cristiano Ronaldo, but the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner certainly has thick skin and loves all the praise and attention that he gets as well. In 1986 we had the hand of God. The infamous Maradona moment helped to take Argentina past England on their quest for the World Cup. Ronaldo seemed to want to create a similar moment, but with the delicate touch of the hair. CR7 claimed a goal that was awarded to Bruno Fernandes in Portugal's 2-0 win over Uruguay. With debate over who scored the goal, of course, cue Twitter frenzy. Tweets like "hair of God" and "hair of the GOAT" started trending. But in the end, despite Piers Morgan and the CR7 fan base up in arms, Ronaldo didn't get the goal. Nor will those tweets create the same sort of buzz that Maradona did in 1986. But of course, Ronnie's always the centre of attention. Number 9. Rainbow flag drama at the 974 Stadium. 974 Stadium in Qatar has made history for being the first dismantleable and transferable stadium. But this winter it was also the scene of an interesting protest. Everyone is now aware of Qatar's discriminatory laws against the lgbtq+ community. One particular fan thought he would do something about it. A pitch invader by the name of Ferri, an Italian activist, flaunted FIFA's rule and made a statement about the 3 top political issues in the world at the moment. He ran onto the field during Portugal's game with Uruguay with a blue shirt branded with a Superman design. "Respect for Iranian women," said his t-shirt, and on the other side, "Save Ukraine." The protester was also armed with the rainbow flag and did his best to be seen on the biggest stage. It was certainly a surprise moment and one that a lot of people welcomed, all over the world. The German national team actually decided to do their own protest in Qatar as well, but we're going to talk about that in another story, so stay tuned. Number 8. Penalty deja vu for Ghana against Uruguay. 12 years after their previous infamous encounter, Uruguay and Ghana met again in Qatar, this time in the group stage. Perhaps not quite as devastating as the penalty miss in 2010, but just as important. This time they really could have taken a foothold in their final group game against Uruguay, but yet again history repeated itself. Ghana missed the penalty, and in the end Uruguay won the game 2-0. Both teams were knocked out of the competition. In 2010, Luis Suarez was the villain and Asamoah Gyan was the man who missed the penalty. This year, it was Andre Ayew. You had to feel for the Ghana fans watching that moment. And they felt that they had a score to settle with Uruguay. In some ways, they'll be happy because Uruguay went home, but so did they. Yet again, a World Cup could have been very different for Ghana if they had just scored the penalty, but lightning struck twice. Number 7. African nations proving their worth. Not many would have believed that Morocco would qualify out of a group that contained Croatia and Belgium. Modric and co were runners-up in 2018, and Belgium, though aging, have a team full of stars. But it was Morocco who finished top of this group, with 6 points. Elsewhere, Senegal also impressed. They won what was essentially a playoff against Ecuador in their final group game, and advanced to the round of 16. In their first game, they went head-to-head with the Netherlands and showed a great performance. Ghana dropped out of the tournament early again, but Mohamed Kudus has proved he is a real star in the making. And finally, there were 2 historic wins for African sides. Tunisia beat France and Cameroon defeated Brazil, the 2 tournament favourites. All African teams showed that they are well worthy of competing on the biggest stage of them all. Number 6. giant killing Saudi Arabia. The group stage gave us some amazing David versus Goliath games, and not least Saudi Arabia's incredible victory over Lionel Messi's Argentina side. Messi's last dance at a World Cup, however, started with embarrassment. An amazing 2-1 victory for the Saudis sent their country absolutely wild. Despite 35 games unbeaten coming into the World Cup and a Lionel Messi opener, Saudi Arabia, the Green Falcons, were the victors on the day. The Arab world erupted with joy as fans bombarded social media to celebrate one of the greatest shocks in World Cup history, and the win meant so much to the Saudi king that he declared a public holiday. Number 5. The end of Belgium's golden generation. Amidst underwhelming on-field performances and a chaotic atmosphere in the dressing room, it all ended in tears for Belgium's golden generation. Belgium have become the only ever international side to top the FIFA World Rankings without winning a World Cup or continental trophy. The closest they came was Russia in 2018, when they lost to their neighbours France in the semi-finals. But they had real hope for 2022. It wasn't to be. I suppose that's what happens when your best player doesn't even believe in the team. Kevin De Bruyne was right. After all, when he was asked if they could win the tournament, he replied, "No chance, we're too old." He even said in the same interview, "I think our chance was in 2018. The Belgians shocked the world with a dismal display in the groups and went home early. Number 4. Germany's early exit. You must be thinking, how the mighty have fallen. Some have suggested that Germany should have worried less about their protests and worried more about their football. Before the first game against Japan, in Germany's team photo, they all covered their mouths in a gesture that FIFA had silenced them from their protests. But on the pitch, it was Japan who did the talking. A shock 2-1 win for the Asian side against European giants, Germany. From this moment, the writing was on the wall for Germany, and despite a decent draw against Spain and a victory against Costa Rica, they went packing. Arsene Wenger in particular spoke out against Germany, blaming their underwhelming performance on their political demonstrations. He claimed the World Cup is for the teams who are mentally ready, with the mindset to focus on competition and not political demonstrations. Number 3. Japan's controversial goal. Japan ended up beating Spain and Germany to win the group. This was a shock in itself, of course, and a big shock for Spain was Japan's second goal against them on the last day of the group stages. The ball appeared out. In fact, VAR shows 99% of the ball probably was out, but the 1% remained. The ball looked out in almost every image. Spain couldn't believe it. Japan were delirious. The linesman claimed that the ball had gone out of play, but VAR overruled the decision. This millimetre was crucial for Japan. It was crucial for the shock of them winning the group, and it was crucial for the shock of Germany going home early. Number 2. Extended added time. One of the shock trends of this World Cup has been a serious amount of added time at the end of almost every 90 minutes. We are accustomed to seeing 2, 3 or 4 minutes go up on the board. But at this World Cup, it has been no surprise when 7, 9 or even more than 10 minutes has been on the board. During the group stages alone, as we mentioned, a whopping 563 minutes of additional time were played. England participated in the longest game of the group stage. In their 6-2 win over Iran, 27 minutes were added to the 90. 14 extra minutes were played in the first half and 13 in the second. It has been said that the referees are putting extra impetus on when the ball is out of play, noting the time and seeking to add it at the end of the half. According to Soccer Metrics research, the average effective playing time at the 2018 World Cup was between 52 and 58 minutes, much lower than the 60 to 67 minute range at the 2014 World Cup. Maybe for this reason, FIFA instructed referees to add on these incredible amounts of injury time. Number 1. The most friendly red card. When have you ever seen a player receiving a red card with a smile? Well, you've seen it now. Vincent Aboubakar of Cameroon. The striker took his red card with a grace we have never seen before. A second yellow for removing his shirt in celebration after scoring the winner against tournament favourites Brazil. Aboubakar had stepped up in the 92nd minute with a header that sent Cameroon into pandemonium. It was one of the most beautiful moments of the World Cup. When he threw his shirt off, the referee smiled as well. They both knew what had to happen. Aboubakar took his medicine, shook hands with the referee and walked off the pitch as a hero. He could not have been less worried. The game was essentially over and it was Africa's first win against Brazil at a World Cup finals. Cameroon went home, but Abubakar had a stellar tournament, also scoring an amazing goal against Serbia. We have no doubt the Qatar 2022 knockout stages will provide us with even more unexpected moments. But it has to be said, the group stage did not disappoint. Which of these moments do you relate to the most? Any that we didn't cover? What did you enjoy? Let us know in the comments section below. See you in the next video.